Good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching from, whatever time it is. Hello, welcome to the Game Week 18 live stream. It's a fast turnaround, guys. I think, to be honest, there isn't that much we can talk about today on the stream in terms of my team. I think if you've watched both videos, then you probably know where I'm going. But yeah, should be a good day. Should be a good evening. How are we doing, Abdullah? I am very, very well, mate. Hope you're doing good. Had a very, very good game week 17, as you may have seen in my team selection. So very happy with the team moving forward. Of course, unfortunate with Reece James. I definitely would have preferred to roll. I think really I could play Estepinian, right? I could do it against Arsenal. It's not the ideal fixture when I've already got an Arsenal attacker in the side. I could do that, but I just think Reece James is probably going to reduce in price tonight, so I may as well just get rid. And I'm thinking probably Botman is the move. Hence, what's above me? Transfers, James to Botman, question mark. That looks like the move I'm going to be doing. How are we doing, Sebastian? Welcome, welcome. So I don't really feel like there's any other moves I could make, to be honest. I really do want to go for a bit of a punt on Perisic in terms of an exciting pick, right? Obviously, people have watched the videos will know that I really do like his numbers. I can't justify having another pick in my team that maybe is not guaranteed minutes when I've already got the likes of Foden, De Bruyne potentially could be benched as well, right? It's just I don't think it's secure enough. I got 96 points last week, so if we have a look, that's how the team got on. Of course, Greenwood trolling me hard with the 4 points after getting an assist against Manchester City. Who'd have thought? But yeah, I'm very, very happy with the team. Obviously, 4 players out of my 11 were a featured team of the week in Kepa, Trippier, Rashford, and Haaland. Very happy with the Odegaard pick as well. Of course, Darwin's a little bit of a disappointment with how many chances he got. Not ideal, but I still think he's a hold. It's a great fixture for him this week. And of course, Mason Mount as well. Very happy to have taken the punt on him and have it pay off so early. I really thought, over these 4 fixtures, we'd see something. Of course, with the double game week, I was really hoping that was when we'd see the returns from him. But the earlier the better, right? If people transfer him in, then who knows about his money? It could go up. How are we doing, SJ? Welcome to the stream. I think James to Cucurella could be a possibility. My personal view is because I've got Kepa in goal, I don't want a double up on Chelsea defence for the defensive point of view. Cucurella's numbers are not very good from an attacking point of view. So, if I'm going to go for another kind of wing-back or attacking option, I would go someone maybe like Perisic. I can see the appeal of Cucurella. I really can. Again, though, it's just with Graham Potter. He's I don't know. He just loves the rotation as well, right? So who knows with him? And if you've missed the 1.1 price rise, it's a little bit. I don't know. I feel like if you were going to make that move, you should have done it yesterday. I did literally lost the cup in the first week, Abdullah. It's not something I really focus on. I feel like the game. They should do more with the cup. They should allow us to either create a second team, because the problem is that you've got people that are using, potentially different players and teams as opposed to the normal one, right? Or I say normal team, I mean as in potentially template ones or people that are pushing for overall rank. And if you get lucky with the cup, I just feel like it should be a separate game. I feel like I would take more chances and go for slightly different picks in a different game, but who knows? Welcome back, Doctor. Welcome back. Is it Kieran Trippier by any chance? Is that going to be the captain choice for you? Abdullah, I think Cancelo and Foden both start against Everton. I think both of them not starting against Leeds with such a quick turnaround, which is why I think some people are concerned about KDB's minutes, which I can see. I can definitely see that. I think it was only about 50 hours, right, between their games, because they played on the Wednesday. They're also playing obviously on the Saturday, I think. If I remember rightly. Yeah, so because they're playing Everton at 3 o'clock on Saturday, They've had such a quick turnaround that I think Cancelo and Foden probably both start. So I'm okay with owning Foden for now. The situation was I wanted to be able to hold him up until game week 20 for the double, but I'm just not sure I can even do that now. Hi Patrick, welcome to the channel, my friend, or the stream. Yeah, Doctor, I thought so, mate. That's a juicy fixture for him, though, right? Leeds at home. I mean, it's a good time to do it. The only thing I would say, though, if you again going against Haaland, this is Everton we're talking about. I mean, the only thing I would consider, the only reason I can consider not captaining him, I guess, is because he may get reduced minutes. But without Alvarez back, I mean, I'm not sure if he actually is back or not. Have we had any news on the press conferences? Yeah, so look, literally in the... I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but it says, Guardiola, Alvarez will be back after Everton match. So I don't necessarily see Phil Foden or them going into a false 9 formation. I think Haaland still gets the minutes. No transfers for you, Patrick. Very, very good. I'd love to be able to be in that position, mate, to be honest. Seb, my defence, Trippier, Cucurella and Shaw. I don't think it's a bad option. Cucurella I don't think he's a bad option. He was in, obviously, my transfer targets video that I made. So I think he's got the capability of being able to get that clean sheet against Forest. And then, of course, the double game week next week. So I don't think the move is horrible. It's just for my personal team, the rotation with another Newcastle defender could work out really well. Abdullah, your team, Kepa, Cancelo, Trippier, Shaw, Cucurella, Foden, Rashford, Mount, Haaland, Darwin, Martial. Very strong team, to be honest. And of course, you've got really good bench cover there in Almiron, Dunk and Andreas. I think that's really, really positive, mate. Like you don't need to be transferring anyone out there, in my opinion. I would definitely put Foden on a possibility of a transfer, but I think we can hold off for a week before we make a decision on what to do with him. Darwin the same. And then, of course, with Martial, it's up to you on what you do. Potentially, you can move him to Mitrovic if you've got some money in the bank. It's a really strong squad, Abdul. Really strong squad, mate. You've just got a bench headache for the majority of the game week, surely. Because you've got Andreas on a double game week as well next week. Doctor, both are almost guaranteed to get 6 points. Haaland gets a goal, Trippier gets a clean sheet. So who's more likely, Trippier to get an assist or another Haaland goal? It's a good question. I think, to be honest, with what Haaland's done already, he's the quickest Premier League player in history to score 20 goals. It's not even close, mate. He's done it in 14 matches. It's just ridiculous. So I feel like there is more potential of Haaland getting a goal over Trippier getting an assist. But it's up to you. I mean, that's the point. You've done it a couple of times now, right? Going differential. If you're chasing rank, I can see the upside of it massively. I just think against Everton at home, it's a bit of a killer. You've got 3.4 million in the bank as well. Wow. Really strong. Really strong. I mean, the thing is, you've got no Salah, no KDB, right? You've got basically just one premium. So there's every chance that maybe even if you keep Martial through, then maybe a little bit of the trickier fixtures, especially if there's no transfer movement with Manchester United, which is looking likely from the reports I've read. We haven't really got any money, so we're looking at loan deals only. And if that's the case, then Martial may be a hold. You could go Darwin to Mitrovic if you wanted, and Foden all the way up to a Salah. Yeah. If you can do the direct swap, that's even better. I thought you'd be a little bit off, though, in terms of money, no? He's 12.8. So you'd need 4.5, no? But anyway, I think Salah's a great replacement for Foden if he doesn't get the guaranteed minutes, to be honest. SJ, is Wilson a hold or should I bring in Mitro and transfer James out next week? I think, to be honest, the trouble is, SJ, the money situation has changed overnight, right? Wilson's already gone down and Mitrovic has already gone up. So you've missed a 0.2 swing. So I think at this point, you just... It's probably better to just hold Wilson. I mean, if he was always going to be your Mitro kind of placeholder and you think that he's going to be the better option in the double, I think you just sell Wilson now. If not, and you're happy to sell a different striker for Mitro, then I just go and sell James. Yeah, I think game week 19, Mitrovic should be coming into my squad. It's just whether or not I don't know what I would do. If Foden gets reduced minutes again, there's every possibility that I downgrade Foden to someone like an Almiron, and then I go Greenwood to Mitro and keep Darwin. There's every possibility for that and take a -4, but we'll see. Doctor, could you check my team 38th in your league? Yeah, I'll check it in a second, bud. SJ, or I could do James and Akanji for Robertson and like a 4.6 mil defender. Could do James and Akanji for Robertson and a 4.6. I think the thing is with Robbo is that like he's just... The attacking output is okay. The defensive output is also just okay. He's not worth the 6.8 million, and that's kind of the reason why I sold Cancelo in the end, is because I just think there's better options out there. So I'm not sure. I feel like you could maybe spread the money a little bit better. And this is why I'm looking at James all the way down to a Botman. You know, because in the bank at the moment I've got $1 million. Taking James all the way down to Botman gives me 2.4 million to mess around with. So I can't quite go Greenwood to Mitro with just that move, but you know, it's the money in the forward line and the midfielders looks better. James to Creswell, because when I go Robbo, I can't go Nketiah to Mitro in game week 19. I mean, I put Creswell's data into my my watch list, right? I think he's a massive differential. The fixtures look really good. I don't know. I feel like his stats are really good. I just think what West Ham are relying on is someone to actually finish what he delivers. The chances he creates are phenomenal. We just need a Souček back in form, or we need Scamacca to be actually attacking those crosses. And I think he's a really viable option. So if you feel like West Ham's attacking output is going to get a little bit better, then I think Creswell can also come into play for sure. Abdullah, yes, I would have to downgrade Darwin to Mitro or Wilson to Tony. Yeah, I thought so. Seb, that's exactly what you were thinking. Okay, cool. I just think he's just... I don't know. I don't necessarily see him as a massive essential, but he's already rose 0.2 million, right? So his ownership is going up. The problem is I don't have Andreas in this draft, right? I said that on the stream and when I was creating the draft, that going 5 midfielders always meant that I didn't have him as an option to at least try and cover Mitrovic if I didn't want him to some degree. But now, just looking at it, I think I'd have both, to be honest. I'd have both Andreas and Mitro if I could for 19. But there we go. Would I go Foden down to Andreas again? I don't know. We'll have to see. Any updates on Brighton double game week? I've got Dunk in my wild card waiting for the double. No, not any more news as of yet, Abdullah, but I'm pretty confident that we're going to get a double game week in 21 for them. I don't think it's going to be a triple. But for me, for game week 21, I think I'm going to probably be looking at Mason Mount to a Trossard. And then, of course, I've got Estepinian as well. So that'll be quite nice. That'll be quite nice. Right, Doctor, let's have a look at your team, mate. Sorry, I've left you in the lurch a little bit here, haven't I? 38th, you said, right? Bowen the Menace. Mikalenko, interesting choice. 4.5 mil. So you've got Solanke in. I mean, I would probably play Solanke this week. I mean, Palace obviously had 2 red cards, right? So their defenders not necessarily first choice. Mitchell and Tompkins, right, were the ones who got sent off. So I would definitely look at playing Solanke this week. Of course, Haaland and Kane. I'd go Martinelli, De Bruyne, Almiron. You've got to be benching Mikalenko, right? I would probably look at Aston Villa. What's their fixture? Tottenham. Not ideal. I would probably go a 3-4-3 for you. Go Cancelo, Trippier. Of course, Ben White comes in. And I guess you just play Andreas, right? Against Southampton. That's not necessarily a bad fixture. I feel like that's what you do, Doctor. I think you can easily roll. You can easily roll this week. Because you've got Ben White and Solanke, I feel like that's really good cover. So you can just put Ben White in for James, Solanke in for Mikalenko, and there's There's your team. Oh, okay, you started Luke Shaw. You've already made the transfer. Fair enough. Fair enough. What's the rank in my own league? I think I'm 19th. Yeah, 19th with 972. So, I mean, look, 20 points and I'll be in the top 10. Moses here with 1,061, nearly 100 points clear. Seb, I think this is the week when Darwin and Haaland will score over 10 points. Yeah, I mean, I think, to be honest, these fixtures are really good for both of them, right? Leicester haven't started very strong. Let's face it, they haven't started very strong. It's just he needs to put the chances away. You know, Haaland's so clinical. I mean, he could have had even more. He could have had 4 goals against Leeds. If it wasn't for Meslier, however you want to pronounce it, absolutely phenomenal performance from him. You know, we could have had a De Bruyne assist as well. I think it was a nice little through ball where Haaland kind of scuffed his shot, I think, and tried to nutmeg him or go low, and Meslier saved it, didn't he? So I think, you know, a different day, Haaland gets another hat-trick and we get De Bruyne returns as well, right? Doctor, now this is a good question. Andreas versus Southampton or Solanke versus Palace? I think I would probably go Solanke versus Palace, mate. I don't think he looked too bad against Chelsea, if I'm honest. I think they had their chances, Bournemouth. They were really putting the pressure on in that last 10, 15 minutes of the game. And because Palace had those 2 red cards, I genuinely think that their defence may be a little bit makeshift. You know, Mitchell's not exactly the best defender, but I think Tompkins, if I'm not wrong, I mean, he's pretty much a guaranteed starter, wasn't he, for them? Okay, maybe not. He only played 56 minutes, so maybe they're okay. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Solanke's got the better potential, but it's close. It's very close. Can you check my team name, Team Nami? Yeah, I'll have a look in a mo, mate. I hope Darwin smashes today and Salah blanks. That would be very, very nice. That would be brilliant for the rank. Patrick, I'm still far ahead of you in your league. Yes, you are, sir. Yes, you are. There's many people, mate, that are far ahead of me. Oh, 1 point. Very, very close. Very, very close. But I mean, look, this pick here, mate. This pick here, I doubted you. This man, I doubted you. Of course, he didn't keep the clean sheet, but he got the assist, and it was a very, very good ball indeed. Very good ball. So hats off to you for keeping faith in in their defence. Hoping Arsenal assets also flop. I mean, I could really do with Odegaard kind of coming in hot for me. You know, he scored, I think it was 16 points in game week 16, and obviously back with a flash with 11 points in 17. You can't see it on screen there, unfortunately. I can't scroll the points. But yeah, he scores 10, 3, 16 and 11 in his last 4 game weeks. So I'm really hoping we can get some hauls from him. I need Saka and Martinelli ultimately to blank. I also need Arsenal to concede in an ideal world. But of course, yes, there's some people in the chat here that need the clean sheet. Second Chance League has made FPL more attractive. I think it's made more attractive for a lot of managers, sure. Like I'm not necessarily going to be paying attention too much to it. I'm much more of the overall rank. I'm much more interested in the overall rank rather than the Second Chance League. But of course, it's a new set of prizes. People can restart and do slightly different things. So I'm for it. I think it's good of the game to have done that. I just wish, like I said, they will do something with the cup. The cup's a really good idea, in my opinion. It's there as a raw idea. It just doesn't work when you're limited to... if you're trying to push for overall rank, it's very unlikely that you also get very far in the cup. It just doesn't really work. Right, let's have a look at your team before I forget. Team Nami. I'm not sure how far down you are, bud. Team Nami. 93 points, sir. Well done. Well done, mate. So you pretty much, if I'm not wrong, you've almost got the exact same team as me, except I've got Odegaard, you've got Almiron, right? They're the only differences. So I think, to be honest, because you've gone Ben White, I still think that's you could roll the transfer, Seb, but haven't you already gone James to Cucurella? I mean, if you have it, I don't think it's a bad idea because you've got the double game week, right? So I know I keep saying, his numbers aren't fantastic, but there's a double game week coming up still. So I still think he's worth the transfer in. I like the team, mate. There's nothing really I can say too much about it because it's literally my team almost, right? You made 101 transfers. Damn, that is one hell of a lot of transfers, sir. I mean, the list goes on. Crazy. I mean, your rank, so it doesn't really matter, I suppose, on how many transfers you made. You're not competing for the likes of top 10k. He's given a chance to managers. Yep, agreed. And about Creswell, I could play him the next 4 fixtures and then bench him for 3 game weeks since I own Dunk, so I think the rotation is perfect. I agree, mate. I think that their fixtures, this is why I put him on as a differential. All I would say is that just they've not looked very, very positive from a defensive point of view. So if you want to get on board with Creswell's attacking potential, it's just about West Ham finishing the chances off. Everyone has got the same template teams. Yeah, to some degree. There's a lot of players that are the same. Of course, I've gone a little bit different. You see Salah in quite a lot of drafts, of course. I went KDB over him. Odegaard as well, over Martinelli. I could have easily gone to Martinelli in terms of how much money I had available. Obviously, I went Phil Foden rather than Saka. I went Mason Mount rather than Saka or Martin. There's a few differentials in the team. Luke Shaw, obviously, I got on board with him first. So glad I was able to catch a few price rises. Abdullah, you hope the template gets broken down like a back 4. Yeah, potentially it could get broken. Sportcat brought Shaw in for James. I think that's a positive move. Very, very good. Did you catch the 0.1 price rise, or did you pay the 4.9 for him? Because I think that's a very strong team now, mate. Kepa, Trippier, Cancelo, White, Shaw, De Bruyne, Mount, Rashford, Martinelli, Darwin, Haaland. Really, really strong. Seb, Chelsea have one of the best fixtures now. That is very true. This week alone against Forest, it's a really strong fixture. Doctor, this could be a massive week for FPL since I genuinely see a West Ham loss. Today, Moyes gets the hammer. I can also see Lampard getting chopped. Yeah, I think it's close with Moyes. If he doesn't start impressing, or just not even impressing, right? Just getting some kind of result, I think you're right. It's such a shame for them, though, because obviously they've done well in Europe. It's just so difficult for a team that doesn't... If you don't add to your squad and you get into the European competitions, it just knackers your players out. Like Declan Rice must be absolutely shattered. Well, obviously in the run-up to the World Cup. There's so much fixture congestion. The Thursday, night, Sunday fixtures are absolutely rubbish. That's just the problem with Europa, right? Thoughts on Thiago Silva? I mean, again, he's a Chelsea asset that I like. He's almost guaranteed, I suppose, to play minutes. So out of him and other Chelsea assets, I would say he's probably up there. It's just probably better to go for Cucurella, right? If you're going to go for a Chelsea defender, just go a little bit cheaper. Because what's Thiago? 5.5. You may as well spend the 0.3 million less and go from there. You paid the 4.9 for him, Sportcat. Okay, I still think it's worth it. It would have been nice for you to catch the price rise, though, definitely. Into the 3rd round of the Cup. Nice. I've literally, I don't think there's been one season that I've done very well in the Cup. I think I've got through to like the 3rd round and that's it. Right, first plug of the day, guys. We're at 468 subscribers now. I'd love for you to hit that button. We're literally 32 subs away now from 500. Be an absolute great Great milestone. What's your squad value? It's pretty dire, to be honest. I haven't got that much. 101.7, so it's 100.7 at the moment with 1 million in the bank. So 101.7 is just bang average, mate. I would say 102 at this stage is like, it's okay. I've seen teams flying around with 104 though, bud, so it's not that great. I probably would have been tempted with a freemium draft in game week 17 if I had more money in the bank. If I had a better squad value, probably 103 maybe, 104, I would have been tempted by it. I definitely feel like I would have ended up on Kane, Haaland, De Bruyne or something like that. ZZFC, do you think he'll play after he was limping last game? I mean, it depends on what Potter says, right? Is there any press conference news? Potter names players returning. I mean, you got Kovacic back, which could be actually quite important, I think, from a midfield perspective. I mean, it doesn't look like... I'm just reading through... Sorry, guys. I'm just reading through the press conference. It doesn't really look like Potter's mentioned anything about Thiago, to be honest. So he could be a little bit of a risk, but I mean, he's an absolute veteran, right? Like, he's... I know he was limping a little bit, but he managed the 90 minutes, so I think he'll be fine. But I still think you should go with Cucurella if you're going to go with a Chelsea defender. I don't think there's any other option. What do you get if you win the cup, Seb? I think there's just a whole different prize pool, right? Or there's lots of prizes specific to the cup. It might be similar to if you win the game. Arman Thadani went from Wilson to Havertz. Could have went for Martial or Tony. I like the Havertz pick, mate. I think that's really good. And that's worth noting as well, guys. If you're looking at the Chelsea kind of triple up, if you've got Kepa and then you had Reece James and, of course, Mason Mount as well, I would really consider looking at maybe having Havertz in your team for game week 19. He's also one that could easily fly under the radar and could provide a really, really good amount of value. So it's up to you. Like, if you want the triple up on Chelsea from this week onwards, I don't blame you, because Forest is an absolute perfect fixture to target. Matt, what do you think about Aspi as a Reece James replacement? Not really something I've considered, to be honest. I mean, he's got the ability to be able to assist. So I think he will start there more than likely, right? So I think he's a good option. I do. I would actually prefer him maybe to Cucurella now that you mention it. It's just let me just have a look at his stats on Scout, because I'm just curious to see, because I don't think he was there on my stats table for quite a while, if I remember rightly. So I think Chelsea, in terms of... Reece James was obviously their top. Cucurella is their second. And Aspi's actually their third. And he's not that far behind. He's got a 0.86 expected goal involvement, right? So, and then Cucurella's got 0.93. I don't know if that's overall for the season, but ultimately that's it's not a bad statistic. James is out for 4 weeks if you're talking about James. No, I was talking about Thiago Silva. Sportcat, should I take a -4 to bring Almiron in and play him and bench White, playing that 3-5-2 formation? I mean, look, Almiron against Leeds could absolutely explode. He's definitely one of those players that I'm going to not enjoy not owning. But whether or not it's worth a -4, I'm not sure, bud. The way you've got to look at it is, if you take that -4, Almiron has to do something to make it a net positive transfer. Is Tony a good option? I think he's, for me, he's now going to be a wait and see. With all this stuff going on with the FA, and obviously the fact that he's, this betting situation with him, I think it's a little bit tricky. I would say he's an avoid for me at the moment. on the Bein Sports League, you went through in the cup on goals scored because you both got 72 with Haaland, but you had Kane and he had Havertz on the bench, but he put Surridge ahead and he played 5 minutes. Oh, mate, that's what an absolute heartache for him. Yeah, Tony's court case, January the 7th. That's what I mean. I think he's just an avoid. I don't know how good of a... I mean, look, the guy earns ridiculous money, right? So, I mean, his lawyers could be the absolute top-notch. If you take -4, do you enter the round on FPL Cup on -4 points? I'm not sure. I don't know what they do with the minus. I've got a feeling that transfers only get taken into consideration if it's a draw. You'll have to look at the cup rules, to be honest with you, mate. I'm not too familiar with it. Like I say, I don't pay attention to it, if I'm honest. But I think you just... It just takes the overall points. I don't necessarily feel like there's anything in the cup that looks at the minuses. Do I think Gakpo is going to be a good FPL player? Well, I think Klopp has said he won't be ready until more than likely February. So we'll have to wait and see with him. I think at that price point, I think he'd come in at 8 million, right? He could be an option. It's just my issue is that the moment that Luis Diaz and Jota return, what's Klopp going to do? Right? You've got Firmino, then Nunez, Salah, Gakpo, Diaz and Jota. That's just ridiculous. I mean, Oxlade-Chamberlain obviously come in on the recent fixture. I don't think he will get a look in. It's just, I don't know, it's really difficult. We'll have to just wait and see on how many minutes he gets, to be honest. How are we doing, FPL Boo Boo? How are we doing, bud? Welcome to the stream. Sportcat, I kept faith on my boy Mason Mount and it paid off. Yes, my friend. He done very, very well. Syed, you had a stinker last week. You captained Darwin. Oh, mate, that's so unfortunate. Based on his data as well, man, you must have been gutted watching that game. He had 1.16 XG at the end of that. He could have easily scored a brace. He could have matched Haaland. The FPL Cup counts -4 in your game week score, which is great because it would have been ruined if they didn't. Okay. I wasn't aware that they did. I know sometimes with... I'm sure I've read a rule somewhere that the -4 isn't taken into consideration. Maybe it's in the... in your mini league where you can break it down, can't you, into... So if we went into here, where it's got select phase overall... If I change this to December, for example, I think if any of us had, well, let's just go back as far as October. So Moses is saying 419 total, but I don't think that takes into consideration the minuses he's taken. I mean, it doesn't really matter anyway. We only look at the overall at the end, don't we, with the mini league? But it's just, yeah, I'm sure I've looked at that before. Maybe that's where I got confused. You were so tempted to sell him Mason Mount before the previous deadline, but as a Chelsea fan, kept faith and it was brilliant. Yeah, I think he had a really good game. I mean, I don't know if you agree. From an FPL point of view, obviously it wasn't as good as maybe we'd want, but to score a goal, get a few bonus, is exactly what we need. But I think he had a really lively game. I think he looked a lot more... I think he looked rejuvenated, to be honest, because he didn't really have many World Cup minutes, right? So I was a little bit disappointed because I wanted to pick players, I guess, that maybe showcase some level of form like Rashford did. But no, Mason's done well. Second time this has happened. You captained Salah when Liverpool won 9-0, yeah, and he didn't get a goal. And now you captained Darwin and missed 4 golden chances. Yeah, that same week was the hat-trick hero and 2 assists. Yeah, what was it, like 48 points he scored, wasn't it? Something silly when you captained him. Just imagine how your overall rank would look, mate, if you got that right. So if you would have captained Haaland this week and you would have captained him then, you probably would have been absolutely flying, though. That would have been an extra, like, 60, 70 points. That's huge. Sport, I think you enter it on 0. It doesn't actually say -4, but what will happen at the end of the kind of points tally, it will take -4 off you. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Doctor can say more, but... Yeah, no, I understand that. I think you don't enter on -4. It doesn't work like that. It's just, it takes it into consideration at the end. Doctor, you're not even lying. You had 2 opponents in the cup. First had a 10.2 million game week rank, and then a second had a 10.3 million game week rank. Wow. You're thinking of transferring in Digne for James. He will get a big haul. I mean, look, I put him actually into one of my videos, I think. Not recently, but in one of my drafts, I said I think that he might fly under the radar a bit. I'm not sure with Villa, though, bud. I'm not sure. Their fixtures aren't, like, absolutely great, are they? Let's have a look at Villa's fixtures. Tottenham, Wolves, Leeds, Southampton. Okay, I can imagine from next week, sure, but even then, that's a West Midlands derby against Wolves, so I'm not sure about Digne. I'm not sure. I think there's better options straight away, Boo-Boo, to be honest. So it dropped from 18 to 98k. Bloody hell, man. That's absolutely crazy. 80,000 red arrow. I feel sorry for you, my man. But you're still inside the top 100k. That's exactly. Patience is the name of the game. Seb, you subscribed to my channel with 2 of your other users. Thanks, mate. Appreciated. The more the merrier, mate. The more the merrier. But yeah, we're very close now to 500. I don't think really it does anything for the channel. At first, I thought a community page needed 500, but they gave it to me a little bit earlier. So obviously, I've been putting out the posts for all the game week content. But yeah, 500. I mean, I started the channel in July. So I'm very, very happy with the growth so far. It's been amazing. Wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, right? Like streaming to 7 people at the moment, but I love it. I enjoy it. There's people that have 2,000 people to watch them, right? But I don't know if I'd be able to keep up with that. Syed, you're captaining Darwin again. Damn, sir. You are taking a little bit of a risk there, but I like it. I mean, look, he's my vice captain. So if Haaland does get reduced minutes, I'm not sure he does though, but if he did, or not reduced minutes, but he gets completely benched, then I would definitely put Darwin ahead of maybe some of my other team members, to be honest. You received the buy in Man City FPL Overall Cup based on your Game Week 17 score. Interesting. So just kidding, has to be Haaland. I can no longer drop to the masses. Yeah. It is a bit annoying though, right? Like just, it does feel like every week. It's difficult for me because, I don't know, I feel like when I'm doing a team selection video, by the time it gets to captaincy, everybody's switched off because like, well, I know he's going to captain Haaland, so what's the point in watching? But we'll see. Towards the end, maybe I go a little bit differential, right? Depending on where my rank is, say game week 35 or something, maybe I change it up a little bit. Armin, you could go James to Perisic for a 2-week punt. Yeah, he's definitely one of my kind of top transfers in. From a enjoyment perspective, I definitely would put Perisic in. I can't risk it anymore. Like I've already taken the risk by putting James in, which we knew was an injury return and concern on minutes. I've already got now, Foden's a bit of a headache for me as well. I don't want too many headaches in the team. I think Perisic could become just another headache, to be honest. Trishel, best James replacement, you think Shaw? I think if you haven't got Trippier, Luke Shaw's definitely up there. Of course, I do like the second Newcastle defender, which is why I'm looking at probably putting Botman in. I like Arsenal defence, although I don't think they keep a clean sheet. If I'm being completely honest, over the next 4 fixtures, I can't see them keeping clean sheets. But stranger things have happened, right? The easier fixtures sometimes, or the easier opponents, should I say, are the ones that can that score the goals. But they've got a tough run, so I think you can target Arsenal on their double game weeks. But I do like Luke Shaw. I think he's a great replacement. Yeah, Boo Boo, my plan is James to Botman, so it's just above me. Obviously, we've got about 30 minutes before the deadline, so I haven't confirmed anything, but I'm pretty confident this is where I'm going. I'm just looking at rotation. This is the thing, like I've always said in my recent transfer target video, everything is going to be team dependent. Everything is going to be team dependent. Of course, we've got certain preferences, like some people don't have any Brighton defenders, some people don't have Arsenal defenders, like I don't. some people do really want to double up on the Chelsea defence. It's just really a matter of personal preference and what your team's shaping up like. You think game week 19 you'll captain Mount? I think he'll be a great shout. I think it's between him and Mitrovic for me. It just depends of whether or not I go for Mitro, to be honest. Abdullah, I'll be happy to finish in top 500k by the end of the season playing FPL for the first time. Mate, that'll be a great achievement. A great achievement. It's definitely a tricky game to navigate, right? Like I've obviously managed top 100k once. If we have a look at, is it here? Yeah, so 94k is my best rank. Unfortunately, within the top 200k last season wasn't the best. But yeah, the 2020-2021 season was really good for me. These 3 seasons realistically were casual. I didn't even know that FPL content existed at this point. I was just playing the game, taking minuses. So 700k, 1 million and nearly 2 million. And that was just playing casually. So you're already flying in comparison to me, my friend. Trish will play Shaw or White. I think you play Luke Shaw, if I'm honest. I think you play Luke Shaw. Wolves away, it's a good fixture. It's a really good fixture. Matt, or do you think I should roll and play Dunk? What was your possible transfer, mate? Sorry, I'm scrolling up. I haven't got live chat. Okay, the last time you asked for about Azpilicueta, I think if I was in your position, I would transfer James out because I am kind of in your position, right? I've got Estupinian, if I get the pronunciation right. And I just don't trust that Brighton are going to keep a clean sheet against Arsenal. They just haven't looked as good defensively with De Zerbi. So I honestly think just get rid of James, mate. Just look for a replacement now. The thing is, going into game week 19 is always going to be better with 2 free transfers. Like, let's be honest. But the reality is that if you've got 5.8 million defenders sat on your bench with not very good bench cover, just sell him. So, Dan, if you think Haaland will get 60, 70 minutes, do you think Salah is a better captaincy choice? I mean, I wouldn't say better, but he's very, very close to being a possibility, right? There's going to be people that do it. I mean, I watched Focal's experts video, right? So I think a lot of experts said that they were going to be, which are like the top 10k managers, I guess. A lot of them were going to be captaining Haaland, but I think one of the comments from one of the experts said that it's closer than you think with Salah, and I agree. I think we're going to see a little bit more effective ownership on Salah this week and a little bit lower on Haaland. But I still think he gets more than 60 or 70 minutes. Like, do you remember when, like, Pep, I think early days, we were all concerned about his minutes, and then Pep just said, Erling Haaland is literally 23 years old, right? He's a machine. His recovery rate is really, really quite something. So I don't think we're not going to see him slow down, right? He's a Viking. He's just going to carry on. Triple captain Haaland, not this week, mate. Not this week. Don't do it. Wait till game week 20, 23. Those doubles are juicy, mate, for the Haaland triple. Although, to be honest, everybody's going to do it. So it's just, I don't even know, to be honest, about this chip, because everybody's going to be doing the same thing. It just depends on which week. I think they've got Villa and someone, haven't they, as a double game week in 23. So in 20, it's Man United and Tottenham, and 23 is Tottenham and Villa. That's the time. That's the time to do it. Who do I think will win the league? Man City, Liverpool, or Arsenal? Well, Liverpool ain't in the title race, in my opinion. They're just not. Like they will almost get top 4. But I think United, in the way that they're playing, I think we get top 4 this season. I really do. I think Chelsea are going to miss out. I think Newcastle, mate, they're going to be so close. If they improve in January as well, mate, I'm telling you, they're going to be close. I don't know who's going to win the league, to be honest. It's so close. Arsenal played so well against West Ham. Like, I don't know. I find it hard to see how they're going to slow down. Like, Arteta is literally Pep 2.0. Abdullah, forget 60 or 70 minutes, he can score a brace within 40. Yeah, true. True. Apart from the ones who triple captain when Haaland played United. Yeah, that's true. That's true. There are some people that have done that. Abdullah, out of top 5k people, 89% have used triple captain already. Wow. Crazy statistic. Although I don't think top 5k is going to be in my reach, mate, to be honest. George McGavin, my opinion on... or your opinion on James' replacements is Botman or Gabriel. I think both are very, very good options. My personal view is Botman, which is why I'm going for Botman, but it is very team dependent, sir. Gabriel for me is he's later down the line just because of Arsenal's fixtures. Their run here defensively, I genuinely don't feel like there's many clean sheets here. Brighton away, not sure. Newcastle at home, also not sure. Tottenham away, not sure. Man United at home, not sure. Like all of these 4 fixtures to me just spell there's going to be a few goals in it. 22 onwards though, now we're talking. Or 21. If they double in 21, I'm definitely happy to get on board with them. But I just think we can avoid them for a couple of weeks. So I just think it's a wait. I genuinely think Arsenal defenders are a wait. You used your triple captain against Brentford, got 2 points. Oh my God, sir. Damn. So unlucky. Armin, even if he does get a 60 to 70 minutes, I still think Haaland is a better option. Even though Leicester did concede 3 against Newcastle, they still do have a good defensive record. In the last 8 or 9 games before the World Cup they did, but I don't feel like they had a very good restart. And I just think Liverpool, I don't know, they're obviously not a different beast to Newcastle, but they have arguably got better attacking output. So I feel like it could be an absolute whitewash there as well. It could be easily 3 goals again. So I think it's definitely closer than what people are saying. If I had Mo in my team, I would definitely be vice-captain him, 100%. I know that doesn't really count for much, I suppose, but that's where my head's at. Sebastian, then your season is already over. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like Seb's playing too high for rank, to be honest with you. He made 101 transfers for game week 17. You're also on Botman this week, then Mitro for double, then game week 20 Foden in for the triple up Man City attackers. Game week 20 will be Salah, Foden, KDB, Martinelli. Sounds really, really good, my friend. Sounds really, really good. That's the thing. I mean, I went for Foden early. I jumped on it, and it's just one of them. I could have easily gone for Saka. Of course, you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. He was the better option, not only last week, but of course from an Arsenal attacking point of view, he's a nailed attacker. Foden isn't. So I could have done that and then taken the gamble to go for him on the double. But I think Foden's got to be a hold for me now at this point, which is kind of sad. But I'm hoping he gets a good run against Everton. I'm really hoping that he gets some solid minutes. Okay, yeah, you also started in game week 6, didn't you? I forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, 5 game weeks behind. You're already like 350 points behind. So there's no way that you're going to be able to catch up, right? There's always next season, though, Seb. There's always next season, mate. Right, where are we at? 25 minutes. I think this is probably where we're going to go. We'll have 2.4 in the bank. Like I say, unfortunately, look, it gives me only 6.6, so I can't go from Greenwood to Mitro. It's a little bit of a shame. But there's no one cheaper than Botman that I think I would go for. 4.4, it's such good value. Such good value. Change James before the crash comes, yeah. Don't worry, mate. We've got another 25 minutes yet. I'm comfortable in waiting a few more minutes. True, you can play the second chance league, Seb. You can play the second chance. Play that like that's your overall rank. That might be a good move, actually. Just play the second chance league like that is the overall rank, and then you'll get a good idea of where and what decision making you've done ready for the next season. It's a good shout, that, Abdullah. Site crashing now regular. No worries. Yeah, man. Could go Greenwood to Martial. I could do that. But am I missing 0.1 though, right? Yeah, look, I'm missing 0.1. He's 6.7. So unfortunately not. And I don't think I would go Martial ahead of, even though it's ahead of Bournemouth. It's the problem is it's this point. It's the 20 and 21. And I feel like owning Rashford is enough for those two tricky fixtures there. I would definitely have preferred to been able to reach Mitro, but it is what it is. We'll figure it out. I mean, in this scenario, look, like, this is where my head's at, is that, of course, I know it means I'll have 4.3 in the bank, which is absolutely ridiculous. But if I have Mitro and Haaland, and Mitro obviously is a possible captaincy choice next week, depending on minutes, this is the man that's a risk, right? Like, I want to be able to hold him all the way through till 20, but I just don't know. I don't know if I can do it. And then that gives me 12.6. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Darwin down makes sense. 12.6, I can't quite get to Salah, though, still. So, it's difficult. But you see why, like, for me personally, I want to be able to keep my options quite widely open. So, I'd prefer to have a little bit more money for the future weeks. Could even go Foden to Sterling or something crazy like that, right? Mukesh, Foden will start or not? I think he starts. I genuinely think he starts against Everton. He got benched. I think this has got to be, like, in such a quick turnaround, Mahrez or Grealish have to be benched. I know Grealish eventually got 2 assists, but he had a woeful first half. Greenwood to Nketiah, I could do that as well. That's a very, very good shout. I think I'd like to see what Arsenal do in the transfer window before I do that. Mitro will blank or get suspended. Gut feeling, go for Wilson. I don't know, man. I'm not sure. Like, I think if he gets suspended if he gets yellow carded in this game, I'm definitely not going to go for him, right? Because the better fixture comes first, if I remember rightly. It's Leicester, isn't it, that he plays, and then he plays Chelsea. Yeah, so he'd be suspended for Leicester. So if he gets carded at Southampton, I mean, that would make it really, really simple for me. Then I don't have to worry about having him. So, but we'll see. Next season, you're going to get top 100k. Yeah, it's a hard road, mate, to be honest. There's so much content out there now, and there's so many engaged managers that top 100k is definitely harder now than it's been. I mean, 2-3 seasons ago, me getting 94k, that was a slog. That was a hard season. Of course, it was COVID as well, so it was a bit of a strange season. We had, postponements and all sorts of weird things. So I think a lot of managers were like, they were put into these panic situations, taking minuses and taking them. So it was maybe arguably a little bit easier to get it at that time. But then obviously that was my best rank. Then the next season was 184k, which wasn't ideal. But it's so difficult, mate. But that's why I talk about future planning, right? And just making sure that you open yourself up to understanding how to rotate your squad correctly and talking about differentials and how and when to use them. Like, this season's, again, another unprecedented season. We don't normally have a free wild card in the middle of the game. In some ways, it's helped a lot of people because their teams were rubbish in 16, right? So they needed a reset button. But we don't normally get that. So I just took the chance that because there was a big template out there for at least the top 100k, that I thought, well, why not go a little bit differential to try and gain rank? And it kind of worked a little bit. I got a 400k green arrow, right? So I did something right. SJ, you're heading out. Ended up doing Creswell for James for bench cover. Good luck. Mate, absolutely wonder pick that is, mate. The differential of the week has been selected. Good luck to you, sir. Good luck to you, and enjoy wherever you're going, mate. Enjoy your Friday. And a Happy New Year to you as well, mate. Happy New Year. Loving how the World Cup happened in the winter. Opened a clean slate for everyone, and Reece James getting injured again has broken the template. Yeah. I mean, the clean slate, I do like it. I do like that kind of, we've got an extra wildcard chip. It has made the game that little bit more interesting, but I'm not sure about the break in the Premier League though. Like 4 or 5 weeks. The World Cup was really good. Don't get me wrong, but just man, I really missed Premier League football. I really did. I am surprised though about the standard of football. And on the Boxing Day fixtures, or just the Christmas fixtures, can we call them? Because obviously it was across 3 days. I was really surprised at the quality of some of the teams. Like I genuinely felt like there hadn't been a break, because the way that Arsenal were playing, absolutely phenomenal. And City in parts. I don't think they had their strongest game, but great stuff. Newcastle as well, looking really good. You just wouldn't think that half these squads players were gone for 5 weeks. Sportcat, yes, it says the winner is the highest game week score minus any transfer points. There you go. So I don't think you start, like I said, I don't think you start the game week with -4. It's just off of your overall points at the end for the cup. Right, we're 5 to 6. We're close. I think we're going to be going to Botman. The move is made. Transfers, let's take the question mark away. James to Botman's been done. Double Newcastle defence. I'm pretty happy with this though, because I think next week I won't be playing both of them anyway. I'll probably just be playing Trippier against Arsenal. And once we get past the tricky 19, I'm happy to have that double defence for the foreseeable. It doesn't lock me out of at least one attacker as well, right? I've only got 2 of them. I'm more than happy to go for Almiron, Wilson at some point if I need to. So I think there we are. It does also make the league more competitive, as the teams lower down the league were more fresh. There could be many upsets coming up. Very true. That's why I go back to Creswell being a good differential, because West Ham could start kicking on. They had a tough fixture to begin with, but their next few are really, really positive, and they're in a survival bid, right? So they need to improve. So this break could have helped a lot of their squad. Abdullah, you think Cucurella was a better option? Yeah, potentially. We'll see. I think Newcastle at St James's Park, mate, it's very hard for Leeds to get... I think it's going to be very hard for Leeds to get through. If they do concede, then the thing is that if Chelsea concede, it would have been just exactly the same, right? A double up on both. I have Kepa in goal, so I'm confident with Botman. It gives me more money to play with as well. In your Chelsea Cup, it says you've received a buy. I'm really confused still what it means. I'm really not sure. Like I say, I'm not a cup player, to be honest. You're asking the wrong person. Almiron in or not, it's so tough because you have to hope he scores more than 4 points. Yeah, so he needs to score 1 goal. I think he could do it against Leeds. Like, they're not exactly, solid. They did play very well, though, against City, I must admit. It was at Ellen Road, though. It's not on the road. It's going to be very different when they go to St James's Park. They're going to, if they play a low block, I just think that Newcastle, they're still going to find a way through. I think they've been really, really good. Armin, congrats on making your transfer. Must have been a headache today, yeah. All that thinking caused me a lot of pain. Abdullah, it means you have qualified for the next round. Okay, automatically. Yeah, that makes sense. Sebastian, I think West Ham versus Brentford 1-1 and Liverpool win 3-0. Good call. I think West Ham could possibly keep a clean sheet tonight. We'll see what happens. We'll see how they do. I feel like they need to do something, right, to of course bid for their survival. So I feel like they might do okay. They might sneak it 1-0, but Brentford aren't no mugs. They're going to show up for sure. It's a London derby as well. And Liverpool Leicester 3-0. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. "15 minutes, guys, till the deadline. Get your benches sorted out. Get those captaincies on. And we're almost there. You know what? Just because they're away, I'm not going to take Almiron in. Hope White gets some points too as I'm starting him. Newcastle at home. Maybe I confused you. But yeah, Newcastle are playing at home. So Almiron in, I think, is a positive thing because he's playing at home. Armin, what's my league code? Would love to join it. It scrolls just to the side of me over here. I mean, yeah, just that way. You'll see it. HYN6Q9. There should also be, if I'm not wrong, in the description of the stream. I think I put the quick join link. So you can just tap it and you can join it. Sportcat, yeah, same for you, mate. Just literally, just click the link in the description. I think it's there. I think I put it in there. I can't remember. I'm not sure if I can look at it now, to be honest. Let me try and see. Live. Yeah, it's in the description. You think Foden to Gakpo is a good transfer, or who would you go instead of Foden? I think I would probably go Saka, to be honest, because Arsenal have got those double game weeks. I think that's where I'm going with him. Obviously, like I mentioned, Darwin down to Mitro means that, of course, I've got a lot of money to play around with. And then Mount down to Trossard. So, look, this is kind of where my thinking was because of the whole Botman move, right? So because of how much money I've got in the bank, these are the potential transfers over the next few weeks, right? We're going to have Mount possibly go to Trossard once we get Brighton's the news of Brighton's double game weeks. We've got Foden to Salah potentially because I'll be taking out Darwin. So I want, essentially a kind of a Liverpool attacker, let's say, and he's on penalties, and then it moves me more to that freemium draft. And then Mitrovic, and obviously that means I'll have 0.3. Now, if I would have gone for Ben White, that would give me the money, because obviously I had Botman, so I could have done Ben White as an option to cover the Arsenal defenders. But because of that 0.3, as long as White doesn't go up, then I can also do that move as well. So Botman could easily become Ben White, and I can target the doubles even more. So here you've got Trossard, White, Mitrovic, which are all double game weekers over the next few. So it doesn't give you the clear it doesn't show you exactly when and where I'll be doing it, but you see how that's the perfect money for it, based on, of course, Salah not going up, Trossard not going up, and that's just where my thinking's at. And this is why Botman was kind of so key to that. Is the website crashed? It shouldn't be, because I've just refreshed the pick team. Sorry, don't know how I didn't spot it. No problem, mate. There's a lot going on this screen. I've made it a little bit busy, haven't I, to be honest? Hopefully you like it. I mean, let me know. If you don't like the layout or you think something can change, then let me know. I mean, I've got scrolling fixtures below. Of course, a banner at the top. Current viewers, overall points. There's loads of stuff going on, right? You're 38th in my league, awful. But then if this is your first FPL season, then don't worry about it, mate. It's not a big deal. Abdullah Dan, are the badges on your channel or memberships? Not yet, because I'm not monetized, my friend. I only started 5 months ago, so no, I don't have memberships. Eventually, though, of course, if the channel grows, then absolutely, I'll be looking at memberships, maybe a Discord channel. We'll do member-only videos. I mean, look, if I ever get to do this full-time, then absolutely. But, I mean, as for, at the moment, I just enjoy doing it. I've got a full-time job. I've got 2 children. It's... my wife's an absolute hero, by the way. Like, she just lets me do this. It's just, without her and the support of her, I wouldn't be doing it, right? So, we'll just see. We'll see how the channel goes. I'm enjoying it at the moment, so. Any prizes coming top of your mini-league? Look, I kind of had a thought about it, and maybe towards the end of the season, I'll be talking about it. But at the moment, it's just, you just get literally a permanent slot on my description, right? Because I've got a TBC comment on the moment on my mini league, so you'll just have a permanent stamp if you win it on my channel forever. Maybe this year that's what I'll do, but next year maybe I'll throw in something, I don't know. like I said, if I get monetized, then absolutely, there's incentives that I could probably put out there, right? The mini league, I'm not sure if FPL rules I'm allowed to do it. I'd maybe need to double check it. But I mean, look, if there's enough money coming in or the channel grows enough, then why not? Why not throw in like a games console or something like that for someone, right? I'd love to be able to do that for people. Seb, you have to remember me when you have 100k subscribers. Yeah, Seb, mate, it's going to be a long time before I get to that marker, bud. A long time. If ever. I may never reach that target. It's just, if it happens, it happens. I'm really humble with it, to be honest. I love the support I've got right now. I could stream to 8 people for 3 seasons. It really wouldn't bother me, right? Like, you know, I'm 1.1 million in the world. It's not as if I'm number one. Like, who's going to be tuning in to me? Who listens to me? Like, who am I? Basically, I just enjoy the game. That's what it's about. So Dan giving away a PS5 to the winner, mate. This is the thing. I'd love to be able to do that. I don't know if, like I say, for this season, if I could fork out that much. But yeah, look, if I've got full-time revenue from this, or even just any sort of revenue, if it happens, then who knows? Keith, been watching whilst eating Chinese, just saying hi before you carry on. Mate, enjoy your Chinese, bud. And welcome to the stream. Thanks for saying hi. Are you 50-50, Keith? Sorry, you're eating, aren't you, really? I shouldn't be asking you questions, but are you both Chinese and Indian, or are you Chinese? Because I'm going to be honest, I'm definitely an Indian man. Definitely. I mean, not literally, obviously, look at me. But in terms of what I prefer, I'd love a curry in the winter. Chicken madras, a good chicken madras. That's a bit of me right there. And a garlic and cheese naan bread. Love the idea of a Discord server, would definitely join that. Yeah, I've got a few ideas for as the channel grows, right? Like I've got, in my house as well, I've actually got a garage, and potentially I convert that into a proper studio, right? And have, you know, shirts on frames behind me. I'd absolutely love it. I'd kind of do what Andy does at Let's Talk FPL. I'd go full commitment, right? I wouldn't just have a photoshopped wall. I'd have a physical wall of shirts. I'd love to be able to do that. Dan, the plaque on the wall for life is more prestigious, mate, for sure. Yeah. We'll see. I would too. Chinese, eating ribs so messy. Yeah, I do like Chinese as well, but I'm definitely, I think I sway towards Indian overall. My missus doesn't like curry, though. She doesn't like spice. So we tend to actually eat more Chinese overall, but I'm definitely a curry lover. Abdullah, have I tried Pakistani food, biryani or karahi nihari? No, I haven't, my friend. Biryani, though, I've heard it's really, really good. I think it is, look, the spices probably are quite similar, no, to Indian food. If it is, then I'm going to enjoy it, definitely. But Asia's just one of those continents that I would love to just do a food world tour on, right? I'd absolutely love to be able to go around and eat all the seafood of different places as well, just to try it, because I'm not a massive lover of it, but why not? Like, I'll try everything, so. Love the Indian love. I'm Indian myself. Yes, Armin, mate, you do make a very, very good meal. You guys make a very good meal. But overall, I feel like I'm pretty multicultural in terms of like what I eat, because my wife's Polish as well, so we eat a lot of obviously traditional Polish food as well. They celebrate Christmas, or we even celebrate, shall I say, Christmas on the 24th and the 25th, because the 24th is a day that Poland celebrates it. They have multiple dishes. There's no meat on the 24th. They only eat fish. They all sorts of different dumplings and, oh, mate, just... My wife's literally put like 30 kilograms on me, yeah? I literally, when we met, I think I was about 70 kilos. Now I'm over 100. FPL Boo Boo just joined the league. The new number one is coming. Possibly, mate. Possibly. I'll keep an eye out for you. Seb, how many goals do you think Haaland will score this season? Will he win the Ballon d'Or? I mean, the Ballon d'Or is a difficult one because he needs to do it he needs to do it across the board. He will need to do it in the Champions League. Of course, he wasn't in the World Cup this year with Norway. So Mbappe is probably going to be a shout. Ronaldo's definitely out of it. Messi, the problem is he's just won the World Cup. Like I don't know if Messi. That's the risk. He's competing with Messi. Let's face it. George, I listen to you as you seem to know what you're talking about. To outscore you would be an achievement. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like I kind of know what I'm talking about. I mean, I do like to be able to. I like to think I'm able to digest a lot of the stats that are in front of me. And I do watch a lot of football. That's another thing that my wife's an absolute hero for, right? She lets me watch the football. I kind of, obviously, I look after the kids as well, right, while I'm watching. But just, yeah, sometimes it's just, yeah, I feel for her sometimes. But I appreciate that you listen to me, George. I appreciate it, mate. Hopefully, if you're in separate mini leagues, cash mini leagues, whatever it is, and you win them, mate, then that's enough for me. Like I'm just happy to have you enjoy the ride. Seb, as Man City fan, you think Haaland is going to be the best transfer you ever made? Well, I think he was already showing that, mate. 20 goals in 14 games, mate. The guy's an absolute monster. Sell Wilson for a hit or just play Andreas, especially if Mitro gets booked. I'd avoid in 19 and Wilson better from 20. I think Andreas no hit as well, bud. I think that's a good move. You know, Palace, of course, they had 2 red cards. Mitchell and Tompkins both missed this game. I had a look at Tompkins. I didn't realise he was like not a selection really for the most part for Vieira in terms of a centre back. But Mitchell being missing, potentially that helps Andreas as well. I think there could be a bit of a makeshift back four there. I think Fulham could do something there. So yeah, I think Andreas, bud. Oh, and special thanks to Mrs. Dan for letting him stream. Yeah. She watches as well, bless her. When she can, not always, because our kids take over our phones a lot of the time. How old are my kids, by the way? I've got one daughter that's coming up to 2. She's 18 months, 19 months. So she's coming up to 2 in April. And my son is literally 6 weeks old. Just under. So, yeah. I'm a 33-year-old boomer, mate. That's it now. Like, family, that's me. Like, when I'm talking about travelling Asia for food, this is happening in like 15 years' time, mate, when I retire, right? I say retire, I mean, that would be 48. That's really pushing the boat out. But look, I'd love to be able to do it, but my kids, of course, come first, so. Maybe it'll be them that end up doing the tour and I'll just be asking them to video it. Fulham play Southampton. Oh yeah, Fulham play Southampton. What am I talking? Who plays Palace? Bournemouth. Why was I saying Palace? I'm sure was it because I was talking about Solanke earlier. Sorry. My bad. I think Southampton's still a very good fixture for what it's worth. There we go, George. You said, I seem to know what I'm talking about, and I've completely fucked up one of the fixtures. But there we go. I still think Andreas is a very positive pick, mate. It's one of them situations where in that game week 17 draft, like he was really in and out of my team in terms of that 3-5-2. I've ended up going without him, but he hit the post, right? In the last game. I think he really could do some damage. One minute to go, guys. 1 minute till the deadline. Doesn't look like the website's crashed today. Let's get a screenshot for Twitter. Sorry, guys. Cancelo, Saliba, Trippier, Andrea, Salah, Martinelli, Almiron, Kane, Darwin, Haaland. Pretty strong. Pretty strong. Who do I think will win the Champions League? Oh, man. I think you guys with Haaland, you're going to be... This is it for Pep. This is the time. This is the time for you, I think. Good luck, everyone. Indeed. I hope you get the green arrows again this week. Are we locked in now? I think we probably are, right? I just was doing my... Typing out my... Yes, we're locked. We're locked. But let's keep the team on the screen here for those that are joining late or anybody that checks it out. In 10, 15 years, do you think your kids would outscore me in FPL? Probably. What a joke that would be, right? If both my daughter and my son play and they beat me. And if this was my full-time job as well, at any point, how sad would that be? I'll be the talk of them. They'd be trolling me all the way to the school, right? They'd be walking to school with their friends like, I'll beat my dad at FPL. What a sad act. He's sitting there recording and talking to people about like how good his transfer plans are, and I'm beating him by 500 points. Syed captained Haaland, didn't make any transfer, going to transfer out James next game week, bring in Botman and another midfielder. I think that's fair enough, mate. I don't see any reason why you couldn't roll. Like, for me, Estepinian just wasn't a good enough option for me, and I wasn't happy to play Bueno either. So, Happy New Year indeed, Abdullah. I hope you have a fantastic one. No plans for me, because obviously the little uns, but we'll be seeing the new year in, no doubt, all together. See you soon, my friend. Good luck to you, Seb, as well. Good luck, Syed, mate. Good luck. Good luck to you all. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we get on. I think I am predicting another green this week. I think if Foden starts, I really think that he could do some damage. So I'm definitely predicting another green arrow. I'd like to get inside the top 1 million. If I can get them at maybe 20 points above the average in terms of... if I go onto live FPL, I just want to have a look at the live ranks real quick. Oh, it's updating, isn't it? I can't see. I think it was the last time I checked. I'm about 30-something points away from 500k. So I'd love to be able to get there. But am I streaming again in 2 days? Yes, I am, sir. Most game weeks I will do a live stream, I think, this year. Like, work's obviously slowed down a little bit over Christmas for me, but come January time, it's going to pick up again. So it really does depend on my working situation. But as long as I'm in the country or I'm at home, then absolutely I'll be streaming pretty much every game week. I never roll transfers because I can't help myself shifting around my team. Yeah, it's hard to do. Like the thing is, this game does take a lot of patience, right? Like, it's such a difficult one. Sometimes you can see like where you want to go with your team, and it's just, I want to do it now. Like, I can't wait those 2 weeks to get there. I want that player in right now. And sometimes it does work, but I think I played the game like that on the casual seasons when I didn't really consume content or I wasn't really paying attention to statistics. I was just kind of putting in the players I wanted. I was taking -8s, -4s. I think overall I probably enjoyed the game more, but the problem is that just now I'm too invested in the game now. Like, I play for rank, so I just have to roll transfers every now and again. But I know what you mean. It's really, really difficult. But good luck to you as well. Good luck. But yeah, guys, obviously we're past the deadline now, so I am going to wrap up the stream. Thank you so much for joining. Obviously, look, we had 7 or 8 people consistently across the stream. It's pretty much you guys that make me want to keep doing it. So thank you for joining, right? Like, I just love the community that we're building here. Obviously, as I say, we're almost at that 500 mark in terms of subscribers. We're really pushing on, to be honest. It's been a fantastic 5 months so far, and I think the season's only going to get better. So, yeah, hopefully you all have a fantastic new year. Great weekend as well. Enjoy the football. I'll probably do a team selection on Sunday. That's what I'm planning to, at least. Based on time, I'm not sure on time, but I'll do a team selection video definitely. And then, of course, I'll do a live stream on Monday. I think I'm only going to have time to do one video at the weekend, though. So look out for that, guys. And, yeah, again, thanks so much for tuning in. Keith, if you're still here, enjoy the rest of those ribs and that Chinese, my friend. Just finished. But yeah, thanks for everyone joining. I hope the green arrows come your way. Happy New Year to all of you. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, I'll see you in another video very, very soon, guys. All right, take care. Thanks very much. Much love. Peace out.